going to talk about multiplying and factoring. We're going to do the multiplying part today. Tomorrow will be the factoring side of things. We are going to use some of the properties we learned last chapter with exponents in order to multiply here. Now we have a term here. This is a monomial being multiplied by a trinomial. We use the distributive property, which we've done before, to take the negative 4y squared and you want to multiply it by all three terms. So let's go ahead and do that. We have negative 4y squared times 5y to the fourth. So we have negative 4y squared times 5y to the fourth. I'm going to go ahead and keep this second one in parentheses there. Now, I'm going to do the next one. Negative, notice I'm bringing the negative with it. Negative 4y squared times negative 3y squared. And then I have negative 4y squared times 2. So I've paired negative 4y squared with all three things inside of these parentheses. So then I'm going to go through, and we did this last chapter with the exponents. We're going to multiply the two whole numbers. So we have negative 4 times 5. That gives us negative 20. Then we have y, and when we multiply two powers, if you remember, we add their exponents. So we take 2 plus 4, so it's going to be y to the 6th power. Okay, then we have the next group. Negative 4 times negative 3, that's going to give us a positive 12. And don't write the next sign until you know what it's going to be. So this negative times negative, I knew it was going to be plus, so I went ahead and put a plus. In the next situation, before I put the sign down, I'm going to see what it's going to be. I'm going to take negative 4. Oh, I'm sorry. We need to go back to the y's. I forgot these. So now we need to take these two y's, multiply those together. And if you multiply the two y's, you add their exponents, so you get to the 4th power. Then we have negative 4y squared times 2. I'm going to look to see what the sign is going to be. Negative 4 times 2, that's negative 8. So now I put a negative sign. So don't put the sign until you know what it's going to be. Multiply those numbers first. And then the y squared just remains y squared. And that is how we multiply a monomial by a polynomial. So there's okay, looking at letter B. If we look at 4b, it has an exponent of 1 on the b. We multiply the 4 times 5 to get 20. And then we take b to the 1 power times b to the 2nd power, and we get b to the 3rd power. So I've multiplied the 4b to the 1st power times 5b squared. Next, we move the 4b to the 1 power, multiply it by the b. So remember, the b has an exponent of 1 here that we don't see. So if we take 4 times 1, we get 4. And then we have b to the 1 power times b to the 1 power, which gives us squared because we add those exponents. Then lastly, we take 4b to the 1 power times 6. Take 4 times 6, we get 24, and then b. We'll just put the b on the end there, and this is the answer, the product to this monomial times polynomial. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at example C. Okay, example C, we're going to be multiplying negative 7h times 3h squared times negative h and times negative 1. So we take negative 7h times negative 3h squared first. Negative 7 times 3, that gives us negative 21. Remember, this h has an exponent of 1, and if we multiply h to the 1 power times h squared, we get h to the 3rd power. Then we take negative 7h and multiply it by negative 8h. So we multiply the numbers negative 7 and negative 8. I see it's going to be positive, so I'm going to go ahead and put a plus here because it's negative times negative. 7 times 8, you get 56. See how I did that without a calculator? You guys should be able to also. And we get h to the 1 power times h to the 1 power. There's a 1 there that we don't see, so we get h squared. Then we take negative 7h times negative 1. Again, it's going to be positive because 2 negatives, so I'm going to put a plus here. And then we get 7h, and that is our product. Okay, now let's look at the last one. We have 2x times x squared, so we're going to multiply 2 times x squared. There's a 1 in front of that x squared, so we're taking 2 times 1. There's a 1 there. We get 2, and then x to the 1 power times x squared. That's x to the 3rd power. Then we take 2 times negative 6. That gives us negative 12. X to the 1 power. So we have x to the 1 times x to the 1 gives us x squared. And then we have 2x times 5. That gives us 2 times 5, which is 10x. And that is how you multiply polynomials. Thank you for listening.